Welcome to this buildingSMART room session as part of the buildingSMART International Standards Summit, Rome 2023. Thank you for joining. My name is Sheila Krylam and I will be your moderator today. Today's session is titled Regulatory Information Requirements Project. Our speakers are Tomi Henttinnen, Anna-Riitta Kallinen and Markus Järvenpää. This session is scheduled to last 90 minutes with time for questions at the end. The session is being recorded and will be made available in the replay section of the event as soon as possible. Before I hand over to our speakers, I would like to remind you that this is a hybrid event. For the online attendees, your microphones will remain muted for the duration of this session. If you wish to ask questions, please use the chat box on the control panel. For those in the room, please try to keep the noise to a minimum and raise your hand if you wish to make a comment or ask a question. I would also like to bring to your attention that buildingSMART is committed to ensuring that the participation in the development of standards is unrestricted and the process for their adoption is transparent, and standards that are developed do not favour any particular provider and are open, non-binding and accessible to all. Please take note of our antitrust code of conduct, which is on the screen now, and with that I would like to hand over to Tomi.
Thank you, Sheila. My name is Tomi Henttinnen. I'm a member of the Regulatory Room Steering Committee, and I'm leading this Regulatory Information Requirements project. We've been already running this project more than a year, 18 months, I guess. We've been developing some data content, or mainly property sets and properties for regulatory use, studying the information in IFC models from different angles. We call them use cases. I will update a little bit where we are with the project, and I see, at least in here in the room, I see new faces, so maybe a few words also about what's the overall outcome or the objective of the project. Before going there, we have two presentations. First, Anna-Riitta Kallinen. She will start by telling a little bit about a project called RR2 Pro, which is a project in Finland, pretty much aligned with the Regulatory Information Requirements project. So we are basically doing lots of similar things, and this has been these local projects. It's not only the Finnish project. We have also similar development in Estonia, in UK as well. So these kind of local projects are we are trying to build a link and try to understand that what are the things that we could actually standardize in the international level, and what needs to be kept in the local level, and trying to find the balance. But so we are today hearing first Anna-Riitta Kallinen, and then Markus Järvenpää. Also, he is doing the MEP specifications for the same RR2 project, and after those presentations, I will then update with the Regulatory Information Requirements project. So, Anna-Riitta.
Yes, thank you. It's nice to be here, and today I'm presenting this our Ministry and Municipalities project, RR2 Pro, and this project is for getting more out of the IFC files to the building permit process and more automatic checking for that. And I have to say that this is not the first project that we're doing these topics. We have been done this many years and many smaller projects before. We have tried to pilot this. We have tried to find out what is the requirements needs, what is the use cases, what is the method that we will use, what is the process. And now when we are having a new building law in Finland that supports IFC, requires IFC in the building permit process, now we thought that this is the time that we will have the bigger project and we will finally get this through at least a minimum minimum stage, that what is the use cases that we need to have and what is the requirements behind that, and this complying and checking rules for that for national level. And I have been all of these projects involved in somehow, and many of these I have been in project manager, and all of this is important lesson to learn in these topics. And now this RIR2 will continue the work. And this provides that what we have done in years. In 2015, we started this building permit issues for the BIM. We have been, for myself, over 20 years, I have been involved with BIM and open BIM issues. But in 2015, we started this part of the building permit issues, that how we can add IFC files for that. And we saw that there's a huge benefits that we could use the IFC files for that process. And years by years, we have been done different kind of leaps to the next level and next level and next level. And now we are hoping that we will get this, when the new law comes, we are ready. We have requirements and we have use cases and we have code checking rules and we have the process also. So the new law can be done by practical level in the field. Here you can see we have 23 municipalities that is involving this project, and we get funds for the Ministry of Finance of Finland. We have 1 million euros funded, and this idea for this project came for the municipalities, which is quite interesting point of view, that the ministry did not give this idea, but the municipalities would want to be involved with this process and be the ones that are developing these use cases, that what we can check and what is the process, because it's their process also. And it's very interesting, these 23 municipalities is very different. They are not the biggest cities only. They are not in the high level of the using IFC files. All of those. There's a small municipalities, there's a middle-sized municipalities, and there's the big ones. And there's a different kind of level of the BIM maturity for them. But they are all committed that we will do this project. They will learn, they will want to learn how to use BIM and IFC. And the issue is also that we are doing now the manual level checking. But we would like to have this automatically checking process, because that would give us more resource to this type of topics that needs the human eyes that can be checked. But the basic stuff that we can say that machine can read that, we save the resource for that. And we collaborate also Ministry of Environment of Finland with the new law and with these requirements in the general level of the IOC in Finland. And we, of course, collaborate with this association of the Finnish municipalities, that all the other municipalities is reachable with that association. And then we collaborate with our national research organization, VTT. The VTT has this kind of EU project accord that have been mentioned before in this event. It's going to continue the work that we end. It's going to be focusing more on the sustainability and recycle issues, and also the buildingSMART International involves that. And we make the basic process ready, and then they will continue. So they are very close to our project. And of course, we would like to see that our project is also collaborating with the buildingSMART International in regulatory room project that Tomi mentioned it, because we are providing these use cases and materials, and we get the results for our pilots, that what is needed for the standard and things like that, how it's going to work. And then this Finnish Environment Institute, SYKE in Finnish. It's going to be the end place for the archive of this information that will come through, that the models will go there when this process ends. And our National Archive of Finland have made a decision that IFC is now legal archive standard file format, so we can make the archive with the IFC. And this is the very huge thing. We have been waiting this for over 10 years that this goes through, and now it's official that they have published that they have a decision for last autumn. It was October that they make this decision, and this is a key element that we can now make the IFC archive versions. And then we have Senaatti Properties also collaborating us. It's a government-owned properties which is taking part of the pilots that we are making in this project. So it's very important support for us also. So these are our main goals. We want to make this compliance checking rules, BIM-based building permit, against the regulations, and we want that to be automatically done. And we want to have this, we have these platforms for the building permit process. We want that to be a part of this IFC automatically checking process. So when you download your IFC in the platform, we have two. We have Trimble and we have a cloud permit platforms. When you send there your IFC files, they will be automatically checking for that use cases that we have been set up in there. And this is an issue that we are working on because we don't at the moment have this kind of commercial package that we would have software that could come in the behind of this platform, but we are working on that, and we would like to pilot softwares that could do that, which is not used in Finland, but use, for example, Estonian for Future Insight, for example. And we would like to show that this automatically checking is possible, that we think that it is. But we have to have these pilots because in Finland, if you don't have this proof of concept that you have done this in real life, in real cases, you cannot set up these national requirements. We always have to prove that, and always have to have this public comment phase that everyone can say that my opinion in this material is this and that, and we take care of this, that every comment will be analyzed, and if necessary, we will change these materials. This is typical for Finnish project, at least in national level. And as I mentioned earlier, that there will be this kind of archive in Finnish Environment Institute is the owner of this archive. We would like to have this automatically data exchange for that via this platform, the data will go through this automatic process to this archive. That's one goal also. And how we are going to do this? Automatic checking rules needs some requirements, and we use IFC for that, and we have a very specific requirements coming, which is the property set level, and we have also make this classification for the terms, that what is the item's name, because it's always need to be same. For example, meeting room or meeting rooms or some other terms, they cannot be different if we are going to check something that it involves only in meeting rooms. It needs to be always the same. So this logical models is important too, and we are making that also for space and for MAP part. and then we will make this IFC checking rules based on that what is the use cases and what is the requirements, and we make test models, also IFC models, different kind of models that we can check and test and pilot, use this for pilots. And also the municipalities will use this kind of pilot opportunities that they will have. They won't have exactly the same kind of models that we have now planned the requirements, because they are real project and we didn't have the requirements when the project started. But it's anyhow that it give more this kind of learning process that when they are doing the real project, the building permit project, with using IFC as much as they can, and they will be more educated to handle the model. They will have learning skills for use Solibri or use other softwares that they need for that, and they learn the process that how it's going to be. So that is also the next level piloting that we are doing. And of course, the municipalities have set up the goals that they want to be a strong partner in the future for this national level BIM, IFC open BIM development, that they just don't want to be the voiceless partner in national level. They want to have their voice and be part of this development and say important things that their process needs. So that is very, very admirable, in my opinion, that municipalities has this goals also. This is our project plan, and as you can see, there's many boxes in here. And first, we started with this requirements and checking rules. We have now published this use cases for the architectural part and for the MAP part, and they are now on the public comment phase. And after that, we will launch these property sets that it's going to be involving these issues. And we will start also for the structural designing parts that have come later, because we have had this kind of waiting process for the Ministry of Environment, that what is going to be needed in the carbon calculation. It's we have to wait that they make the decision that what is our part and what is their part for this issue, and now we know what is our part, and we can start working with the structural models. But anyhow, the architectural model part is the very important, because that is the based on the building permit process, the first one, that the permit will be done by this material. We have also made some kind of process development to the platforms, even in this machine readable forms. They needed to have this kind of better process ongoing, so we have done this. They are not involving, all of them is not involving the BIM, but it's going to be better process for the municipalities that we have done. And then we have make this process development. We have been testing the IFC files that we have made for the measurement, the city measurement and the zoning plans and the city modeling and things like that. Also, that how this IFC model is going to fit to the city model or the measurement softwares that this machine had. And we also have made this kind of coordination, checking and modified service that is on the cloud, so that we will get in the right place, the building in the right place, and we can write that to the IFC. If it's not, we can change that and write that in the IFC files. And then, as I said, we have piloting, we have done piloting, and we will continue the piloting process because it's important. And we will publish also the models that includes the information that we have requirements. So it's going to be published after this project. So then we can use that for the education parts, or if somebody would like to research that or do something for that, we will open that also. And then we have this last one, but not the least one, this BIM material level. We have been organizing some education parts. It has been on the Teams, and we have make some short videos after that municipalities can use that and educate themselves and their own organization or the municipality other organization parts or the pilot project participators. And then this municipality pilot part is also our project plan that they do themselves, this piloting for the real project IFC models and use that in as possible it is in this project. And then this project is a very high level international collaboration. So we have a large global network that is interesting in us, and we are also interesting in many other countries and also buildingSMART international work. So then we will learn and we will spread our knowledge also that we have been learned in Finland. And for example, Estonian project is very near and dear to us, and we are nearly every week collaborating and change ideas and change our material that we have done this, what have you done, okay, we can make this part similarity because of course they are our next door neighbors. So I personally highly value for their work and respect that. And we have been in many countries, many ministries, many events, many discussions with our project, and that's one goal of us, that we will be in global network, not only in Finland. And this event is one of those global network events. So this is my part, this is my team. My very valuable project coordinator Suvi is not here today. You might met Arno Alanko yesterday or today morning. He's our chair of board and working in the city of Helsinki in the building permit unit. And we have a board, of course, which is combined of the municipalities and our collaboration partners. We have very good motivated people in this project, and I think that it will be showing for the results, and because we have very high level goals. People who know me knows that I usually have very high level goals, perhaps even higher than normally this project will be. But I have a good people here, very much intelligent people here, and we will have these goals that we have set up. And if you have more questions, I will be happy to answer here. I'm sorry I cannot be here for the rest of this event because I have to catch a train, but you can send me an email or SMS or LinkedIn or something if you are interested, or ask now if you have now questions of my part.
Okay, thank you, Anna-Riitta. Before you, while you are thinking the questions, we will have tomorrow a dedicated session to explain kind of the implementation in detail. So then we will kind of go a bit more in deep that what was the actual process of developing, first of all, the legislation part, and then how it's been implemented by the municipalities. But now, if you have any questions from here, from this audience or from online, yeah, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Lex Ransijn. I'm from the Netherlands, and we are also busy with a project to define the IFC requirements for building permit. But can we find them already online somewhere to see how you did that, or so can we share knowledge about it?
Our use cases are for the architectural model is now on the public comment. phase, and we will be having those in before summer. And I can, if you let me know your contact information, I can send you some links when they comes.
Or the
Yeah.
draft or the
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And maybe with Tomi you can also have this material. He's also involving our project.
Yeah, actually we are sharing the information in the regulatory information requirements project. Like I said, it's been a collaboration between different countries, and the whole point is to share information and learn from each other. So yeah, so if you're interested to join the regulatory information requirements project, then just contact me or Sheila. We have an email address, regulatory@buildingsmart.org.
Okay, I will send you an email. Well, which countries are involved?
We have today we have UK, Singapore, Austria, Finland, of course, Estonia. I'm looking at Nick. He's better with this.
We have England and Wales, and we have Scotland.
Yeah. yeah. And then, yeah. That's how it looks. But yeah, we are very eager to get more countries involved. So please.
A question?
Yeah.
Or yes. I'm a little bit worried about this product data template initiative in Europe, because it said that all countries in Europe should use the same product data templates, and they will be developed and have one source for Europe, and then each country can have their additions. How does that influence these properties in your work?
Maybe I can answer that. So far, it hasn't. But you are right. We have in the new legislation the IFC model has to be delivered to the authorities in two stages. The first one is building permit, and this is something that Anna-Riitta was telling right now. To be honest, that's the easy part. Then the real tricky part is the as-built phase, because according to the new legislation, you have to deliver the IFC model, the as-built IFC model, with product data and material data at the end of the project. And yeah, we are not there yet, but before 2025 we need to sort that out as well, how to do that. So, but yes, we have some ideas, but yeah, to be honest, that is going to be tough.
Yeah, you mentioned the property sets that you created, like a list of meeting rooms, the correct naming. Did you store them in like BSDD or somewhere else?
At the MAP part, we have been testing this BSDD. We will use this. We have this national service, cloud service, that is going to provide this all this classification, and we will use that in the property sets. But I don't think that in architectural model we need this BSDD, because we use the IFC entities and issues. And
yeah, I'm the one who's been doing the specifications. So yeah, in the architectural part, so far we have survived with IFC standard properties, and we will probably have some help from Wales, England, and Scotland, because they have proposed some new properties and property sets to IFC. To be precise, 1,500 plus new properties, and those are something that we are now going through in the regulatory information requirements project. So but Markus will now show another approach, how BSDD and kind of dictionary-based solution is another approach.
Yeah, it's not. I don't need it per se in BSD, but I was wondering if there is a list provided by the government that we should comply to naming all these
not yet, and yeah, the government will actually they will not provide the list. It's the municipalities who will provide the list. So small difference, but technical thing maybe.
Yeah, but it's a list that's provided.
There will be, yes.
You store that list somewhere. That,
we have that. You are very welcome to join the Regulatory Information Requirements project. You have the list there. We have that published. Yes, yes. It's
and congratulations that this is now in Finland. Great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for the presentation, Eric Poirier from buildingSMART Canada. We have a similar initiative in Ontario, and one thing is authentication, model authentication, making sure that because these are signed and sealed documents going for permitting. How are you dealing with that portion?
This would you like to?
Yeah. Okay, I can answer that. We have basically we have set up a principle of three stages of validation. So the first one, which is the most important one, is what we call like a self-validation, which should be done by the designer or the project, to be honest. And for that, there is a plan. I don't know where we are with that, but there's a plan to have like a web-based solution where actually the designers can test. So basically, it's kind of using the same similar testing methods that they are using in the building authority. But that's kind of the first stage, that you have like what we call self-test. Then the second test level is kind of a technical one, which is kind of just checking when you are importing the model to the authority system. Then it will make a technical check, which means that it checks that does it have the right properties, are they written in right format, and so on. So it's very technical thing. And then the third level is like checking the actual content, and that will be probably then more like rule-based checking. But it's kind of that's the idea, to have like three.
But for instance, are you using digital signatures? Are these signed? Are these sealed documents that are being sent?
We are having this signing process in these platforms. That when you are sending your IFC files, you push the button that please start the process, and then you are responsible, of course, the IFC file that you send there, and the process will be added into the platform. That when you send the IFC files, there will be a history tag that this and this person sent it this IFC file, and the results is also be open in the platform, that in the process that this model was good enough, and the check-in part of this use cases was this and this and this. But if it's not compliant, this IFC, for example, there's no room object, then there will be this checking results would be that this model is not ready for the test. It's not having these basic elements inside it. And then, of course, the building permit authority have to push the button and say that this is okay. I accept this results for the machine readable, this automatic checking rules, and this is okay for the next step, for example. And Tomi mentioned that self testing part, this coordination checking part is ready. We have this cloud version, this website that you can download your IFC in there, and you can check that is it on the right place, and if it's not, we know that the models can be even in the different countries or different coordination wherever sometimes designers cannot make this. They don't know, or some fail in process that the buildings is not there where it should be. You can change that, and only sometimes I'm polite in this. So you can modify the IFC coordination, and you can write the right coordination into the IFC files. That's ready. We have the link already in our municipalities today.
But if I understood you correctly, the electrical signing part that's taken care by the building permitting platforms. We are already more than 95% of the municipalities, they are using web-based, cloud-based systems. So I would say that maybe with some exceptions, all building permits are already applied through these electronic or web-based systems.
And I don't want to belabor the point. It's just that right now they're doing it. They're submitting signed and sealed documents, and which bear the architect's or the engineer's signature. We're having a big struggle in having, of course, architects and engineers sign models. And okay, now we can validate and authenticate a file, and then of course the next step is going to the element, the objects. But is there any resistance to be submitting these documents, these models, instead of these signed and sealed documents?
Well, the architects really don't realize yet that what has hit.
Tomi, the right answer is no, of course not.
I'm an architect,
The
so
industry is
what's
banging our doors that when is this ready and when can we provide these IFC models more?
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, any more questions? Shall we move to next presentation, and we can continue? I think it will be a lot of questions after that as well, so please, Markus.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Markus Järvenpää. I'm a MEP specialist from Granlund Oy and maker of MEP side of this RIR3 Pro project. I have to admit, I'm a little bit confused. I was thinking that I can show live material and that kind of things, but I have to rely only for PowerPoint, so let's get through. So there's something from me. I'm a development manager in a company called Granlund Oy, and let's see. I was a designer earlier, 6 years ago. My last design modeling project, and so far I'm developing our designers' designing platforms and environments, and also now be part of national development of MEP side. This is topics of my presentation. What is the current situation of MEP models? What kind of nomenclatures for MEP we need for objects and for system types in a national level? What kind of property sets, properties based on object and system type nomenclatures we need? Interpretations of regulations and scalable inspection rules for building permits based on national MEP requirements, nomenclatures and property sets, and then some results. Example of HVAC model, I can't show that one yet, sorry about that. And I don't have an example for PSDD also, so let's start. Current situation. Actually, Finland have made long time 3D models, 20 years, something like that. Also, Granlund, our company, I think first model was something like 20 years ago. but the data have been, you know all what is the data situation of models. Modeling is done widely in Finland, also in MEP side. And the geometry of the models is in a good level. And as I said, data, it can be whatever. There's a native softwares which made default example property sets at some point 15 years ago. Companies use those, maybe make some changes. In projects, if there's enough big project, maybe someone defined that we need this kind of extra property, we need something. But in overall, our models in MEP side, they are not, the data structure is not the same. You can't manage group of models. It's always different. And in a larger scale, you can't recognize objects. You can't recognize systems. There are systems, IFC system, IFC distribution systems, but you don't know it before, what there will be. Separate requirements for data may be set in each project. Yeah, in a bigger project maybe. In general, IFC models are not comparable. What should be done? First of all, every object device must be clearly identifiable, 100%, at least close to it. Maybe there's never a perfect list of things. In a few next day, manufacturer invite new type of device or something like that. But we have to be close of that 100%. And what you should do when you don't find exact value from the list, then you tell that this is not correct value from that list. Same situation with system types. I like to say system types, not systems, because okay, later on I will explain more. The data structure must be standardized for the data defined by the designer. What do you think about that? There's opinions that designers should make all data for another purposes, that he or she have to be secretary for the data. Is that the correct way? There's a information he knows, she knows, and that information must be delivered for next purpose. So first of all, nomenclature for objects, MEP objects. I started to do this list of values, let's say 3-4 years ago, and today, at the moment, it's in national commenting round, the HVAC part. This includes also electricity, building management systems, sprinklers, hospital devices, which are for not the hard equipment of hospital, but the MEP side of hospital things, gases, that kind of thing. So the list at the moment includes for HVAC parts something like 440 common names of objects and devices. Unique names, flat list, not any hierarchy. common name of the object. It's a I have a slide over here. A common name, I like to use that word. It's the word which defines the device as the expert of building experts understand. What is the first word which comes to your mind when we are talking about projector over there? That's the common name. Not and the level how you define. Do you leave it too generic level, or do you go too far, too deep? Like let's say for example, there's a valve. It's too generic. There's lots of different type of valves. Then it can be zone valve. Maybe that's, yeah.
Are you saying that you're going to standardize the name of every object? Or are
Yep.
you going to classify every object?
Yep.
Not both.
Which objects? Every, yeah, devices and objects of MEP model.
Okay. So if I have two projectors in a room, will they both be called projector?
Yep, that's the common name of it. Then there is a more specific things. There is a two type of that kind of two instances. Let's say 300 instances of these in this building. But the common name is projector.
But so I can't say that's projector 1 and that's projector 2?
Yes, you can, but on a common name level, it's a projector. That's the way to recognize that type of object. Where else? Yeah, the level of the common name. It's the hardest part when we are doing this kind of list, because yeah, the valve, the zone valve, or the zone valve made from brass with pink handle.
Maybe I can comment. So, if I have understood you correctly, we have had many discussions, but you say that you need to know that it's a projector. You can't specify that they are audiovisual components. So that's what you are saying. That there is no hierarchy. Because as an architect, I would say that this room contains audiovisual components, and some of them might be projectors, and some of them might be TV screens. But you are saying that I need to specify each component in the lowest level.
Yeah, as you said, you are architect and you want to group that way, those common names. Maybe here someone else want to group some other way.
I think it's really good what you're doing, because it's we did it for material naming, and we call it naakt because it's name, attribute, naam, kenmerk, toepassing, name, attribute, and application. And the middle part is actually what you're doing, like the calling name of an element. And we did that as the middle of the three fields. So we did the first field where we have 16 names that are the groups of names, like wood, concrete, steel, but also generic insulation, because that's a building part that we use a lot. So, but basically, if you look at a material and you say, okay, it's plastic, or it's multiplex, or it is something, and that's the middle part of our list is really that you see that's what it is. If you see something, oh yeah, that's wood. And then you can see, okay, it's multiplex or whatever, and then you know it's wood, but you put it in front for more better sorting. We did that, and at the end you see, okay, we have wood. It's either a sheet or profile. So basically, there was just a small extra parts that we did, but the middle part is the most important one, because that's actually what you call it. You see something and you call it.
Yep.
And that's it. So.
Yep. And then
440 is not that much, so it's.
And then you can go deeper. There's
but not in the name.
Not in the common name.
Go into the classification and the properties and stuff.
Yeah, it's the list of values which are required. Yeah. Exactly. And also there's I think in this point my plan was to show the whole thing, but Maybe you don't see anything from there, because I can't see even anything from there. But there's a common name in the between over there. There's a hierarchy things, like group names, but those are only for the designer, because there's so many those values that the designer grouped those devices somehow, and he have to find the correct value. He is not allowed to put to that one object those group names, because if you have a pipe accessory, what you do with that kind of information? But there is a zone valve. That's the common name. That's need to be put to that level of common name need to put every object and device. Then also there is a code for softwares which is unique. Then there is an abbreviation which is unique also. There will be plans, PDFs. There will be lists of things which we use abbreviations. There's unique abbreviation for the common name of device. Yep.
So you do use the entities and the enumerations, but you add the type or the name, like a national list of options?
First we made big list of things. What is our actual need in MEP? This kind of devices we have. And totally inside of MEP, the number is 800. When there is electricity, building management system, sprinkler, HVAC, it's approx 800 devices. Then I started to study how many entities and how many enumerations of IFC4 match to that list. Result with object was 6%.
6%
Yeah.
matched. So actually the schema wasn't...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if at this point today we have to go with this national way to do something happen, we can link, if it's possible, to make correct entity to correct enumeration at the same time when the designer choose the zone valve value. At the same time it goes EFC valve and so on. But if there's no entity, no enumeration, so no matter. So
excuse me.
Yeah.
Just one question. How do you manage an object like a smart TV that is many things together? It's a TV, but it's also a kind of computer or so on. Do you have a common name for that, different from TV or from television or TV screen? Is it something? How do you manage it? The typical electronic mania of joining all
yeah,
or put all together in the same device.
That's a good point over there. And these kind of cases, you have to the common name have to be in a certain level. And when you have those examples of togetherness of many things going into one device, so there's always option in our list. There's this kind of machine. You are not allowed to give TV value for that. If there's many things combined to same device, but then you precisely tells that's other device you have to manage manually at some point. But you are not allowed to choose any actual values from the list. Yeah. So
it means that the architectural model would have just other objects.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know. So that's the object side. And after this, we have had discussions already with native softwares, and because there have to be way. Okay, I know it's not allowed to speak native softwares, but there have to be good tools, because you are not. You can't require that designers are filling data for every instance, for every object. So we already have pre-made tool So the whole data is over there inside. When he is picking zone wall from the product, he just choose the correct value from there. This is zone wall now. Even I'm using wall function from Revit or something. I can tell it's wall. Yeah, that's the objects. Then let's go to, I'm running too slowly, maybe. Same for systems. Not the systems actually, but for the system types. Because you can't standardize names of the system. It's not possible. There's always project needs that this radiator system serves floors 3 to 7. And you can make some kind of rules that the naming have to start with this letter and then have to be this kind of thing, and try to fill for the system name. But for my opinion, the system name can be whatever. But it's always some kind of system. So the system type tells, is it radiator system, heating system, is it district heating? You may have 3 different radiator heating systems in one building, for example, but every system of those system type is radiator heating system type. Ventilation is a good example. In buildings, there's several handling units, and supply air systems may be, let's say, 50 different systems. But every type of those systems is supply air system type. Standardized where to write it, standardized abbreviation, and same hierarchy grouping for helping designer. Not allowed to give a ventilation group name, only the system types. Okay. And the list of HVAC system types is something like 100 different type of systems in HVAC. Electricity is a little bit different, and building management system is more different. So there's no same logic behind of everything. Yeah. Is there something new I didn't already told? Yeah, the coverage in IFC 4, it's something like 4% for this. So there is like in IFC 4 there is a IFC distribution system and enumeration heating. That's the only one for the heating system types. We have different type of heating. Yeah. Yep. At this point, I was going to show the property sets and from example IFC model. After that, when you have those list of objects, list of system types, you have to define a data structure where those values need to be every time, of course. But after that, this is, for my opinion, really important that when you define, for example, zone valve, then it's able to have a discussion what kind of properties that value need to include. So the property sets are defined by the value of those nomenclatures. And it's look like this. In the first top row, there is a nomenclature of HVAC objects. Then we have list of property sets and properties. And no matter what entity, what type of object you are, there's always 6 same way named property sets. There is a geometry part, technical part, nomenclature part, etc., and product part. So these three things together, when there is a regulation that I have a use case over here with building permit persons. We made a big list of what kind of things they want to check from the models, and I think in MEP side we have something like 90 rows of that, and every row is one checking rule, and let's go through with the one example. There is a requirement that every whole building needs to have air at least 0.35 liters per square meter. What you need for that you can check it. First of all, you need the HVAC object nomenclature. You have to recognize every object type which is related to this thing, bringing fresh air inside of building. Yeah, and you can do it by object nomenclature. Then there is a volumetric flow in our property sets for these kind of devices, and you get the whole total air from there when you summarize that thing. In many cases, we need from architect model spaces, so the space type, same logic like in systems. We can't actually standardize name of the space or number of the space. There's different needs in different projects, and customers want to do that kind of thing. But you can try, yeah. But you can standardize what type of space in a national level this is. This is meeting room, for example. This is living room. This is office room. This is kitchen. Whatever the list is, Tomi is doing it in the future. I'm not sure what it will be, but the type is the level you can do it. And there in one model there can be like 200 office rooms, but every of those office rooms are office room type of space type. Yeah, in many MEP examples, we need our own objects, our own systems, our own technical values from property sets, and also what kind of building we have or what kind of space type we have. And this is the the way we are doing these checking rules, based on these three things: how to recognize your objects, how to recognize your system types, what kind of property sets you have, which are based to object nomenclatures. I don't remember how many slides I have over here. So the result, what time is it? Should I? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I will wrap it up. I have an example model from it. I can discuss. If you want to contact, can send some material or that kind of things. I think the nomenclatures will be translated to English and Swedish. Swedish at least. Yeah, and So the BSDD. We already run those system types to BSDD for testing this environment. We will continue this. I see this will be pretty good way to share that the softwares don't have to hard code Finnish environment inside of their software. They can make connection to BSDD. We can publish our property sets, our nomenclatures over there. Then when the designer decides to start Finnish environment project, then he download the necessary things, nomenclatures inside his native software. He download the property set settings. I can assure that it's pretty hard work to do that, to make those property sets happen. We can't just rely that every two-person company can do those in the future. We need more easier way how they can start, finish project, and they have all needed things over there already. But yeah, that's the big picture of this. And here's some summary of this.
Okay. Yeah.
One thing more. We are launching the results of this project in this happening, I think. Yep.
In the VDB.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's the same time as the Oslo summit. So,
thank you. Any questions?
thank you. We are running a bit late, but while you digest this and prepare for questions, I will walk quickly through the regulatory information requirements project status, and then we come back to the questions or comments that you have maybe for this. So, yeah, thanks. So, the regulatory information requirements project, as said, we have been running this project already 18 months. We have set of property sets put together. We have new property sets which we need to evaluate, like said, from UK or Wales, England, and Scotland, to be precise. And then we've been studying some use cases and kind of seeing the approach. So the harmonization, how we see that, we have kind of two angles for this. So we have the kind of the technical angle, where and how the information is stored, and then we have the kind of the process angle, how the information is used, what information is needed, and for both of these we have different standards. Like in here we have for the technical part, we have terms and definitions, data structures, and format, and the kind of the information about the location of the data, and by that I mean that where in the IFC, in which property the data is actually stored in the model. Then for the process part, we have the frameworks, guidelines, and use cases, which tell then how the information is used and what information is actually relevant. And for these, we have then several standards. So we have for terms and definitions, we have these ISO standards, and of course national and terms and definitions. Therefore, data structure, of course, IFC in this case. I think that's the only game in the town. And then for these data location and information containers, we have then, of course, other standards. IFC itself has lots of property sets and properties, like said. But then again, BSDD and then IDS can be used to specify what information is needed, and probably some national standards as well. And then for the process part, there is, of course, 19650, the level of information need, which is the 7817. Actually, it's not ISO standard yet. It's in the draft version, so it's an EN standard at the moment. Then for guidelines, we have the 12911 BIM guidance guideline standard, and then for processes, the IDM standard 2941. In the project, the outcomes, so basically at the bottom we have the data schema, so we have the IFC, that's the kind of the the foundation to everything. Then on top of that, we built a harmonized property sets and properties, either by using the standard IFC properties or optionally, if everything else fails, then maybe a data dictionary, and then using kind of local P-sets, for example, the way that Markus showed. And then we have those classifications and codings, international IDS, and then maybe the same in a local level with local IDS. And then we have what information is needed, basically the same thing that I have in the previous slide. So we kind of have the use cases, and then finally the guidelines and guideline standards. In the project we have selected 3 main use cases, kind of high-level use cases, business needs, you could say. Business use cases, the concept and zonal approvals, then technical design and construction approvals, and then approvals for occupancy and use, occupation and use. And they are basically the 3 steps in the global. We have analyzed globally what are the common phases of any building permit, basically. So these kind of are the main use cases for us. Yes, of course. Thank you, Siri. With the current status with the property sets and properties, we have Estonia. They have local property sets and properties, which are based on the Riigi Kinnisvara, which is the governmental building owner. They have been there for many years already. In Finland, we have IFC, standard IFC properties. So in Finland, how we did for the architectural part was that we started actually with the local property sets, but when I was starting to do the mapping to IFC, I realized that actually IFC has pretty much everything already. So I kind of dropped the local ones and changed the angle in a way, so that started to use that, okay, what we have in the IFC and how we can, what's kind of usable from there. We know that there are some things missing, and that's why we have the Regulatory Information Requirements project. For MEP, like Markus was showing, we are discussing about this BSDD solution. Like I said, we are discussing it, sometimes a little bit with stronger words, sometimes we agree on some things. BSDD might be a solution to solve these kind of 2 different angles. And like I said, we have identified that there's some things missing from the IFC. UK has found out that at least 1,500 things are missing. But yeah, we are now walking through that list in the project. So our kind of goal, the overall goal is to find kind of what is the minimum set of properties that we need for regulatory purposes and for building permits. And that it's going to be kind of our outcome, one of the outcomes from the project, that we bring this to the technical room and sort of and ask them to provide us these new properties and property sets that we need for the building permitting. So that's all from me. Now we have about 10 minutes left. Questions to me or Markus?
One comment before questions. I have a strong feeling that when we are talking about what Tomi is a little bit afraid of, the as-built model thing requirement, when we have those, let's say for MEP, that BSDD thing running, we have those nomenclatures, property sets and thing, the need of building permit will fill lots of those needs of everybody. It's really close to what other model users need. It's really close on that. So this is really strong thing.
Yeah, I totally agree. I said in the previous session that the kind of this building permitting is just a platform for the industry. So so it's kind of setting up the minimum requirements for the information in the IFC models. But yes, questions. Was there any questions, comments from online? No, not so far. Any questions or comments from the room?
Yes. Question?
Yes, Väinö.
How are these building permit analysis carried out? I mean, some of these must be calculated and see if it's correct, like in Solibri Model Checker, for example, or other tools. Who will do that? Is it the receiver, or should the sender add all the values and sort of show that it's correct?
The building permit or building control is not a calculation office.
No.
So they are not a consultant. So they are just checking that are the calculations done according to the regulations. So they can do maybe kind of some tests if they kind of this is from Finland. So the building permit authority, they are certifying people. Basically, they are certifying designers. And if the designer qualifies, basically they can just accept that. Okay. I know that somewhere else this is a little bit different, okay. But
thank you, because when I was doing things like that long time ago, I had to add papers with all the calculations sending in.
They are very eager to do that, but according to the law, at least in Finland, they mustn't do that. But I know that they are doing that. So the theory and practice is a little bit different.
And one point more, it's not only that this model is not fulfilling the requirements, or this is totally cool and okay. It's also the way get the important things noticed. That now we are focusing on this thing. It can be if the technical limit numbers you have to, these 5 to 10 have to be the value. If it's 12 for some rule, then the discussion starts. Why? And is there technical things behind it? It's way to raise those important things from the model.
Go ahead.
Sorry, it switched off. I heard 1,500 extra properties, and then I think, oh, how will I explain Minnow that I'm asking for those properties, or does it get too difficult if we use that? Because we asking for just the basic requirements, and that's already difficult for the most people in the Netherlands, at least.
Now the question is that are they mandatory properties? So when I saw the first time I saw the list, I was like, oh my god! But then I started thinking that okay, do I really need to use all of them if I don't need them? Maybe we can answer that.
The list of 1,500 came from an automated code compliance system we wrote in a couple of months. And they are the things that need to be checked in any building type or whatever. In any particular building, you only need a fraction of them. My favorite example is that the entrance doors of public buildings, the strength needed to open the door must be less than 20 newtons. That doesn't mean that you have to record the strength of the spring on every door in the building. Only the entrance door, if it's a public building. And it doesn't have a push button and so on. So in any actual building, It could be a tiny fraction of those. And some of them can be deduced from other things in the model. But an automatic code checking system has to be able to answer those questions one way or another. In the same way as the question is, what is the total ventilation? That doesn't mean that that piece of information has to be stored, but there has to be the information to derive it, and so on. So I think if we looked at, I've looked at American regulations, I've looked at French regulations, I've looked at England and Wales, and I've looked at Scotland, and they all tend to have that kind of number of metrics, things you must be able to test one way or another. Sometimes the test will come from measuring the geometry, like the width of a corridor. It doesn't mean the width of a corridor has to be recorded, but there has to be some way of finding the width of the corridor. So yeah, the list will thin down, and we will identify the ones that are need to be considered, and if they turn up in other regulations, then they'll be included in the RIR. If they're uniquely Scottish, then Scotland would have to write their own standard. So but 1500 is normal. It's not unusual for the US system or the systems that I've been able to look at. If I may, can I make one other comment? The coverage on IFC, you said, was 3%, 4%, whatever it was. It's 100%, because the intention of the IFC was that those predefined types and so on would get you so far, and then the classification model is intended to take over. And what you are proposing is a classification system, and all the BIM authoring tools support enumerated classification tables to deliver this. So to call it nomenclature is to put an extra burden on your users, because all the authoring systems already have the opportunity to add classification.
Yeah, there's for my opinion, in hierarchy classification systems, there's a little bit problems. It's one point of view of groups, and it suits for one person, what is the correct word? Purpose, yeah. When another person comes and there's another point of view, the hierarchy is problematic over there in classification systems.
Oh, sorry, that was me. Sorry.
No, I think what you're describing is what I would call a leaf-only classification system. You're not allowed to choose things from halfway down. You can only choose the terminal leaf thing from the tree hierarchy. That's fine. Many classification systems work like that.
Yeah. But normally, yeah.
And so on. So I think maybe it's worth having a review and saying, do you want to create a separate mechanism for Finland, or do you want to accept that actually what you are doing is providing a classification system? And you can have multiple classification systems in IFC if you need to. You can have the Finnish regulatory classification system, and you can have uniclass and omniclass, and you can have something else as well. So, the facilities are there, and I think it's a shame you're not using them.
Yeah, why not? We can put it over there also. Why not? Of course, but we are still the 5 values of these designers. As I saw the list of for objects, HVAC objects, there's a code, there's an abbreviation, there's a common name, there's those group names, and also when you're talking about actual object type or instance, there's a different level of values. We are doing this also for people in building permit office. We can't make every rule happen 100%. There will be rules which find also only things from the model, and then they are able to see that thing over there and make their decision. Do they want to inspect more, that kind of things? So I'm saying that we can use those places, standardized in IFC, yes, but we also need for human those sets, property sets, that they can find always in same place and same, no matter what kind of device they have, they see same kind of things. No matter what is the entity, there's no different names of that. Yeah, can you get what I'm saying?
Okay, we are almost, well, 5 seconds to top of the hour. Thank you all joining this session. Thank you all online also. And we'll be continuing tomorrow, 11 o'clock. More in deep look into the Finnish legislation and how we have kind of what was the implementation. And then we will have the guideline session. Yeah, 1:30. Yes. So have a nice evening, and I hope to see you all here back tomorrow. Thanks.
Thank you.